We are configuring a technical indicator for Stochastic RSI, otherwise referred to as Stoch RSI, in one of our algorithms in this video. The same principles apply when configuring an algo-finder, with the exception that the algo-finder enables you to set a range of numbers and selections for each value we configure here. To add the Stoch RSI indicator, we will want to add a TA indicator and then choose Stoch RSI. Before we talk about the config, let's look at this indicator on the TradingView charts. This is an oscillation of RSI, which also works within the same range of 0 to 100. It is commonly considered that any Stoch RSI above 80 is an indication that this asset is overbought and due for a correction. And any Stoch RSI below 20 is considered oversold and due for a rally. Notice there are two lines, a fast and a slow line. These varying moving averages work similar to MACD. Otherwise, we look at this in a similar way to RSI, whereas anything over 80 is considered overbought and anything under 20 is considered oversold. It is not uncommon to signal when Stoch RSI is passing back over one of these thresholds instead of when it first crosses over them. Now let's configure the indicator. We can specify an operator such as greater than or less than. The next value can be either an absolute value or a % change over time. In this case, it is more desirable to test when Stoch RSI falls under an absolute value of 20. Once again, we take technical analysis to the next level with the ability to report Stoch RSI on way more than price, including order books, order flow, and market dominance metrics. There is nowhere else you can do this level of TA. If you choose an order book based metric, you will also need to specify what market depth. You can choose 1%, 2.5%, 5%, 10%, or 100% depth of market. Users can then select which candle point they would like to use for calculations: open, high, low, or close. Next, we should select what candle length we want to evaluate. We support 5-minute, 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and 1-day candles. We must define the number of periods to use in our Stoch RSI calculation. 14 periods is the most common, but we can specify whatever we want here, and we can also test this in the algo-finder with a range of values and selections from across this indicator with a brute force back test. The K value is the fast line and the D value is the slow line. The K value should always be higher than the D value. We can choose how we calculate the moving average for this with the option of SMA or EMA. This indicator is to track the metric value of a Stoch RSI line. The user must choose which line we should track: the fast line, which is the K value, or the slow line, which is the D value. Look for our Stoch crossover explainer for tracking fast and slow line crossovers. The trigger at end of signal checkbox is so that we can signal, not when this metric crosses the line you specified, but rather when the metric crosses over the line and then crosses back above it. Whether we test for going below and back above or above and back below is based on the operator you used for this indicator, greater than or lesser than. And finally, the keep alive. This field says that once we receive this flag, we should leave it alive for X number of minutes to allow time for other indicators in this algorithm to match their criteria as well. For example, I could say that Stoch RSI has to cross below 20, then cross back over 20, and then within 120 minutes of that event, the price, volume, and order books must simultaneously all go up 1% to trigger an alert. Don't forget to save your changes to the indicator and also saving the indicator changes within the algorithm. You can click the gear to edit the configuration of your algorithm at any time. Please watch more of our explainer videos to power up your proficiency on the platform. Thanks for watching.